Hello, my name is Caitlin Gauna and I'm a licensed midwife here in Central Florida. I wanted to share with everyone something that I actually did with my placenta after the birth, and it was to make a colorful placenta print. I had seen this done with paint before, and I really like the idea of having a colorful placenta print because red is just not my favorite color, and even though most placenta prints are done with blood, that's not my favorite color. So I wanted something to be colorful, especially since our baby was our rainbow baby. As you can see, I also have one here in a solid color, so that was kind of our trial run. But the other thing is I didn't want to use paint because I wanted to encapsulate my placenta, which is something that's also becoming far more popular. And if you paint your placenta, then you can't encapsulate it because nobody wants to eat paint. That's not good for you. So I'm going to share actually what I did was I used organic food coloring. Now, these placenta prints were done over a year ago, and as you can tell, they're still holding up just fine. So everything went really well with the food coloring. For the sake of today's video, I am using a placenta from a previous client who delivered, and I'm going to be using just regular from the store food coloring because organic food coloring is very expensive, and this is just a tutorial. Also, I would recommend buying a canvas as the firmness of the canvas will hold up for a long time, whereas today I'm just going to be using regular paper just to give kind of a demonstration of what it would look like. So things that you're going to need, and most of these things your midwife will have on hand if you're having a home birth, or if you're doing a hospital birth, they might allow you to have some of these things, or you can just grab these at your local drugstore or grocery store. So something you will need is gloves, not necessarily because you don't want to touch your own placenta, but because you're going to be dealing with food coloring and having colorful hands. Another thing is a Chex pad to absorb the blood from the placenta you're going to be using, and as well as your food colorings, which here I just have some generic food colorings, and then a canvas, or in my case I just have regular paper, but you want it to be on a hard surface. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first I'm going to put on my gloves. And then get my placenta. Not my actual placenta, but you know what I mean. This placenta is kind of cold because we've had it in the fridge. And I'm going to assume anybody watching this is not squeamish because you're watching a placenta video. You should know what's coming. All right, so here what we want to do is use the Chex pad to get out any extra blood or blood clots that would be on the placenta. So as you can see here, there's a little bit of blood draining out from the membranes. And you want to go ahead, and this is the side that we're going to be doing the print of. This is the maternal side, so it's the meaty side that's a little bit like steak. And we're going to actually place that right on the Chex pad there so that the blood gets absorbed. And I'm just going to kind of dab it around a few times in the back as well. And then I'm going to take off any extra little clots here. Now, if your placenta is being encapsulated, I do recommend having this done at the birth, as the encapsulator will normally take it straight from the birth or come pick it up shortly after the birth. Or if you are having an encapsulator, come and do it, and you want to do this process, I'm sure they can watch this video and figure out how to do it for you. All right, I'm also going to get the cord here, because as you can see, you can wrap the cord in different ways to actually be part of the print. All right, so now you can see our placenta is getting a little bit more clean here, not as much fresh blood on there. All right, and so now I actually just want to kind of move this to a clean part of the Chex pad and get any remaining blood off. Just getting any extra blood off the cord since I want color on that. right. Move my checks pad up here. And now we have a clean slate. So I'm going to lay the placenta with the maternal or the meaty side up and all the membranes on the back. I'm just going to lay it flat here. And I want the whole placenta to show. I really like the edges to be out there because those can be a little harder to get. All right, and then as for the cord, if you have a really long cord, sometimes people like to spell out love or make a little heart. Here we tried doing a heart upside down. Didn't come out looking like a heart, as you can see. We call that print blue balls, and I'm sure you can guess why. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a swirl because that one seemed to work out really well. All right, so you just want to get this in the exact position that you want. Make that a little bit more swirl-like. All right, and then the last time I used food colorings, I can place a link to the actual ones that I used. They were organic and they came in a powder. So I was able to put the powder in different little bowls. Actually, my midwife did it for me. She put the powder into little mixing bowls and then did a little bit of each color. So for this case, I'm actually going to be using a different kind of food coloring. So let's see how this works out. I actually haven't used it with these before. But you only get one go with the placenta. So I'm going to change out my gloves since those had blood on them and I don't want that color. And I'm not going to do red since obviously we could have used the blood for that. But let's try some blue. I'm going to take all these caps off first. And here we did blue, green, and yellow. And as you can see, it kind of overlapped and made a mix of colors a few times, which I thought was really pretty. So I'm just going to do that again and let's see how it turns out. Even if it doesn't turn out perfect, you're going to get the gist of it. So let's go ahead and start with some blue. So I tested this out on something else a little earlier and I decided I'm not going to pre-mix this regular food coloring. I'm just going to take the gel directly and kind of put it directly on the placenta. I'm going to do different spots. So as you can see here, you see that is making it very blue. I'm actually going to do it just kind of little bits here and there because I want to see a little bit of overlap with the other colors. And as you notice, I'm using this hand only to squirt the colors and not to sit and pick up the tubes because I don't want to use my placenta hand using the food coloring tubes in case I want to pick these up later. All right, so now we're going to try some green. Let me try some different fingers with the green. Here we go. Green is my favorite color, but it doesn't always look best with just a green placenta, I'm guessing. I don't know. You can try whatever you want, but again, your placenta, you're probably not going to get too many go-aheads with other placentas. The yellow doesn't show up on the placenta too well when you're putting it directly on, but it might come out on the print okay. All right. All right, so I think I've got most of the placenta. So now we also want to do the cord if you want any coloring on the cord. So I'm just going to use the colors that I have here already on my gloves. All right, and so far you should be able to see, I'll pick up the camera here for you to see, that it is a pretty well colored placenta. All right, there we go. All right. Now I don't want to get extra color on the print that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to take my gloves off. And then because this is just paper, oh, and I already got more color on it, so I'm going to take that off. Start with a fresh piece. Because I'm using just regular paper, it may not be large enough to actually capture the whole placenta, whereas the canvas is obviously bigger than the paper. So that's another reason to recommend the canvas. But let's go ahead here. So with the placenta, because they're so floppy, you're not going to pick them up and print them to anything, and that's also going to change the entire shape. So you want to actually just go ahead and put the print directly on. So I'm just trying to make sure to cover all the edges here and also have it long enough to get the cord. So let's go ahead here. Now you want to press it on really good. Get the edges of the placenta. Again, because this is regular paper and not a canvas, it may not come out as well. And then you're going to peel off. And then there we go. And as you can see, the paper kind of makes it smudge a little bit more than a canvas would. The canvas gets more of the detail, but the point is you have a colorful placenta print. And again, you might have to kind of watch the cord here. I think actually we might have just taken our glove finger and just smeared some on there to make that cord connect. So there you are. It is a colorful placenta that you can still go ahead and encapsulate because it was used with food coloring and not actual paint. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or post below. Thank you so much for watching.